Okay, we are going to start in 2 minutes. Okay, anyone from D2D of ICT present student here? I think from roll number 150 Aryan to the Vedant 163. Anyone present?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any of you in touch of Saurav Prajapati? Actually, I tried to aid him, but his email ID is not showing me. So can you verify if someone is in contact with Saurav Prajapati 162? I think now I have to again research for all whether, because in computer I have added the group entirely straight away, but in ICT it is a elective, so that's why I have added, uh, given the link. Still some students haven't added, so another chance. Now again I have to research if some students are not there or not, so I'm not sure yet. So I think now I have to again use the different strategy. So, but in this email ID, I'm getting error in Saurav Prajapati. But as of now, I have added some guest Gmail ID, but I'm not sure whether Saurav is getting or not. So, if anyone is in touch with Saurav Prajapati, please ask him that whether he is able to attend the classes or not. Okay, so let's continue. I think you can able to see my screen, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this one is the from the book, our first book. That is also a textbooks in many other universities too. So that's what we have seen in the yesterday lecture. So this is actually by the William Stallings. That is what. Now this was prepared by another faculty, Laurie Brown, and of course you all people know from the last semesters that I always give my kind of touch wood to the PPTs. So this will be a part is there that is edited by me. So that is what the thing is there. Okay. So this is always in the book. They always starts with certain quote. Okay, that is what the thing is there. So just let me kind of tell you this thing in a quote first. So similar quote it will be there in the slides. So just for fun purpose, you can try to see that these are the quotes that used by the certain famous peoples. Okay, so here it will tell that the art of war. It means kind of whatever the enemy that is coming to us, it is not depend on that. It is depends on how we are ready, right? That is what the thing is there. It's like consider a simple example from the student's viewpoint. Consider, for example, I am a student and I have to give the viva, right? Now, well, you can see it is one kind of a war that I have to go and I have to defend myself and so on and so on. So, but I don't know who is the faculty who is coming to see my questions. And but if I know, maybe I have prepared in that way. But if I don't know, that is actually what a require in a war, that you don't know what is there in the next one in the enemy, and that you have to prove your readiness, that how ready you are to defend the questions. That is where how confident you are to give the answers. It's like in the last semester in the project base, when we have asked to some question to some students, they are very confident in giving an answer. Can no sir, this thing is there, that is what we have designed and that is what we have done. So this is what the thing is there, that you supposed to be have a confidence that not even in me but also any other one who are going to ask you the things, you have to prepare in that way. So in generalize you have to prepare. That is what the war is teaches you. So it's like in terms of our security, if I tell you that okay, if I know that my attacker is having a very old computer 8085 8086, I hope that if you remember, those are very old processors. 8085, that I don't have to assume that my enemy is coming with 8080 and 85. Maybe I have to assume that my enemy is coming with the Core i3, Core i5, and even it may happen that considering a need, maybe the enemy is having a supercomputer too. So in that way, I have to design that what is my system is going to be proofread against in that way. Okay. So in generalize, you have to design the things. That is what the security subject is, that you have to design your scheme in an overall way, not to a specific particular that okay, my kind of device is only secure against these particular things. No, make it generalized so that it will be a more kind of feasibility for the things. Okay, so this is what a kind of a roadmap. We will see kind of first what is the meaning of this security. There are certain things, and this is what our kind of a entire roadmap. In the unit kind of a 2, we are going on a symmetric ciphers, then asymmetric hash functions, and in this one also we are going with what do you mean by mutual trust. It means in a nice way you have trust on me and I have trust on you. So that is the way the things will be designed so that it will be useful. And there are certain protocols in terms of network, in terms of computers, when you are storing a data in computer, when you are transferring a data from a network also, that's everything is there. Now all of you know the ISO standard, right? So in our products, consider some products, that's always they are writing ISO standard. It means it's supposed to be passed through a certain qualities. That is the way. So I think yesterday what we have discussed about NBA, similarly NEC, AICT, all are the bodies governments, and now they are working on NEP. So similarly, those are kind of certain quality parameters that they are going to check. Similarly, in terms of security, right? When it's come to security, there are also certain standards. So similarly, in terms of ISO, we have also a kind of a well-known is NIST. So that is from the US, department. So it is actually designed for US, but it is now commonly adapted in all over the world. That is what it will be there. And similarly, a certain societies as well as telecommunication unions, those also giving their standards. So why we need the standards, it means that when the two devices communicated, they have the same standard, they have the same protocol, that's where they are going to work. And that's why if you are kind of when you are going on a next level, high level, let's say if I'm using the hash function that is approved by NIST standard, so it means the moment I'm using that available kind of a call for my applications, it means it comes with certain kind of a security advantage to me, because that is what defined, that is what analyzed by the standards. That is the way. Okay, so these are the certain standards. Maybe throughout our journey in this subject, we are going to see these certain some names at some particular time, that this is what a standard meaning, and that's why you have to remember that these are what a standard defined. Okay, so this is again, as I told, that in generally all the chapters they are giving a kind of quotes, so that will try to let you know that what is the kind of in our you can say Gujarati word, there is a suvichar, good thoughts. It means you have to start with a good thoughts of a day. Generally in our schooling we have a habit that it was assigned that every day when we are coming in a class, on the board we have to write a first kind of a quote. Students are going to write down the quote, and then the things will be going to be started. That is the way, a good kind of a quote that will try to motivate the people throughout the entire day. Again next day another student is going to write the quote. That is the way. Now let's look at the general definition of computer security. Okay, so it means there are certain kind of objectives. That's when you are designing a system, it's supposed to be preserved. Like there are main three is there: integrity, availability, and confidentiality. We will see in detail what is the meaning of each this, but these are a certain kind of a prerequisite when you are designing, when you are analyzing certain security ciphers or algorithms or protocols. And what are the resources that you have? It may be hardware, it can be anything, whatever the data that they are transferring, on what devices they are transferring, in what software they are transferring. Everything you have to take in a kind of a consideration, and based on that you have to evaluate these three parameters. And based on that you can try to say that if my these parameters are preserved, my objectives are preserved, then I can say my system is a secure system. Okay, of course it may happen that after some time, if something is that I have missed, then sometime the attackers will come, do the kind of attack, and then again the system will be modified again. The moment attack is done, it means attack is what, a kind of a breach of these three kind of a objective, or one or more objectives. The moment an attack is done, it means something is breached. The moment something is breached, Just let me tell you a kind of a simple example, availability. Most famous example you can say that the moment if I want to use my kind of a social media or my email service, it's supposed to be available to me. Now, I have designed the system so that it will be useful. It will be used by my users, those who are using, let's say, email system. Now, if attacker has attacked the system, the user cannot access the login page. It means what? The availability is gone. The moment my server is down, it is gone. It means it will breach to the attack to my availability concerns. The moment it will concerns, I have to again find the solutions and I have tried to preserve. That is what the way the system will be designed. Okay. So this is what you can say the three kind of triad. So that is what the thing is: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So we will see in a short while what is the example of all of these three and what is the meaning of these three. Okay. Now, when you try to apply this particular security measures, there are a kind of a different impact. A kind of a measure is low, medium, and high. Now, what is the meaning of this low? Okay, the moment if some breach will happen, some damage will be done. Consider if some breach will be happen on some server, for example, on an email system. If one server compromise, it will compromise a certain data. But if a multiple server is compromised, then it will create a more impact, and again more and more impact. That is the way it will be there. So if there is a low kind of a problem, that low level, it means what? It is a kind of a minor kind of a damage, a kind of even loss is also a minor. And yes, the important is whatever the individual, if they are involved, like if let's say you will hijack a kind of a certain car system. In some movies you have seen this thing. It will try to the advance the new cars because they are controlled by internet also. So if you can try to hack, if you can try to use that thing to harm the people's life, so how is the way you are going to harm, that will try to define what is the kind of a level of impact. So it will be a kind of a, if there is a harm, it will be a very minor harm to the particular persons. That is the way. Now the next one is a medium or the moderate. What is the meaning of moderate? If I go in the moderate, so compared to our minor damage, so here minor significant is according to the particular corporate. If some corporate is a kind of let's say 10 crores corporate, then according to if they have a kind of a very less damage or kind of a more damage, so and so on, according to that, that amount will be a low, moderate, or high. If some firm is 100 crore or 1000 that crores, in that way their low and medium, if the damage of amount is gone, in that way there is going to be do. I think now you people also seen in those who are involved in kind of share markets, if moment some kind of news is coming out that okay, in this company this thing is there, they are under this loan and they are under these pressures, the moment their share market price is down. I think if I remember in one of the player who has put some kind of a cold drink bottle on some and saying that, oh, I don't want it. The moment their kind of shares is down, that is what the way is there. So whatever the amount of that is down, that will be affect to that particular overall their kind of equity. Okay. So here there is again compared to low, somewhat more significant. That is what. And yes, here in the moderate compared to the low, that you can see there is a kind of injuries, but that injuries does not involve the loss of a life. Okay, or there is a serious issue that you are going to create to the person's individual life. So that is what a moderate damage. And the next one is, now you can try to define compared to the low and medium, that what is the high. High means it is a kind of a major damage. You can say in terms of percentage, let's say 80-90%, or in more than that, there is a damage to the particular organization. They are going to be somewhat completely destroyed, so that they have to be do a very fast again comeback in that way. And similarly, of course, there is a harm to the individual. That is what the thing is there. Even there is a threatening. In some cases, if there is a loss of life, that it impact will consider as a high level of impact of that particular attack on that particular system. That is the way. It's like consider our example of a car. So in terms of our example of a car, for example, if I am controlling a car and due to that car, if someone's life is lost, so that whatever the attack that is, that is designed, that is come under the high. So that the system, those who have designed those car system, they again have to remodify the entire system, because that is what a high level of attack. And it in future it can also affect the other cars too, those who are on the same protocol. That is the way it will be there. Similarly, in our example of security, consider if someone is using an old protocol, and that old protocol that they have used for their some purpose, and if attacker knows that this is what old protocol, they will try to take advantage, try to take it and create a kind of a impact of using that attack on that old protocols, whatever the vulnerabilities that was found. Okay, that is the way it will be there. Now, what are our kind of this triad example? Confidentiality. In terms of our students' grade, generally here, if you see our PDEU system, we are assigning you a marks, right? So, for example, in terms of information security, if I am giving you a marks, it's supposed to be confidential with me and you in that way. Generally, as of now, I am maintaining Excel file. So with me and your class, the kind of thing is confidential. That is the way is there. If I am giving you a marks individual, like, so it will be a confidential between me and the you. What is your grades? That is the way it will be there. Okay. So let other students don't aware about your grades because it is a confidential between you and me. That is the way this confidentiality of your data will be maintained. Now integrity. Integrity, it means that whatever the data that is given, that is not going to be altered. Like in terms of our student system, if I am giving you a marks, that's marks I don't want that is going to be altered by someone else other than me, because I am the as a faculty, I have the kind of, you can say, the first and the last authority to update your marks. In terms of our other example, that is for example patient informations. Now if you see, it was previously maintained in a hard copy, all the patient data that patient have to every time come with the hard copy of your file. Now nowadays systems also come on a online, that your data will be maintained in a kind of whatever in the hospital management system, they are maintaining a patient data. Now if the data will be modified, you can see what will actually be happens. Okay, now if some of the data of a patients, like whatever their measurable data, that let's say for example blood pressure, so and so on, cholesterol and any other things that they have measured, if someone is going to edit the data, change the data, you can see how the impact will be created. That will create a issues. Again, that will create a, kind of, at least if someone calling me and saying that, oh, your blood pressure is now increased from, let's say, from X amount to Y amount, and that will create issues because someone has edited those data. That is not allowed. Okay, that is a system generated, so let it be a, so integrity of your data, whatever the things that is provided by even patient also, that's supposed to be intact. It is not going to be altered. Okay, that is what the thing is there. Availability. Availability, it means that if I'm using my email services, okay, so the authentication from both the sides is supposed to be there. It's like I'm able to authenticate that this is what the Gmail I can see my, so the data, so and so on, and Gmail can try to also authenticate me based on my username, passwords, or in some cases I think OTP is also nowadays is introduced, that if you can use the OTPs also, so and so on. Okay, so that's where they are trying to use this thing. Okay, let me ask to the one just a questions, provided that if you are aware about the system. Okay, is the Aryan sir present? Aryan? Okay. IUC? Oh, 19 BAT 002. By seeing the movie, I can, try to pronounce 00 as double O by seeing some movies. I hope you got the name of the movies. Okay, next one is Abhi Patel 003. Ah, all are absent, or they haven't joined, or looks like again I have to check all the students. Wow. Okay, looks like after this meeting today, maybe I have to, do a certain experiment with this thing, so that those students who are yet due to some technical issues or some communication gap, they are, if you are not able to join, then better they will try to join the things. That is the way to. Okay, let me move to the Abhyuday Patel. Okay. Vatsal?
Present, sir.
Okay, Vatsal. Just one question. If you are using, let's say, Gmail, then, for example, if you forgot your username password, you forgot your recovery email ID, your phone number, then how can you log into your account?
I will simply put my email and forgot password.
Nah, but even in forgot password, you have to give your mobile number or recovery email ID or everything. If everything, if you forgot, then how the Gmail is going to authenticate to you?
Uh, they will ask me certain question that जिसके आंसर मैंने पहले दिए होंगे तो वो आंसर मेरे को वो
Security
कंफर्म नहीं
questions.
करना.
You are telling
Yes,
security
yes.
question. Yes, good answer, but assume that also that you forgot. Then
I don't know.
okay. Okay. Any other students having any idea? If you forgot even in that case, your all the security question and answer. If you want to log in a Gmail, how can you? Yeah, Kunj, you have raised the hand.
We tell even notification on our phone, and if we have to tap yes, then we will get it.
No, I'm not getting your answer, Kunj. Can you be somewhat louder?
Sir, they are giving a facility in which they will send a notification to our phone, and if we tap yes, then we can be authenticated in the account.
But let's say if that phone number is not available with you. Let's say all phone number somehow you forgot to
No, sir,
replace.
not phone number, but the phone that we have used already to log into the account earlier.
No, I'm not getting. Okay, fine. Let me see. Yeah, Vedant.
So he's
We
talking
forgot
about
everything, so
already.
Yeah,
we
Chirag,
also have to
I will
forget their
come back
account.
to you. Yeah, Vedant, can you continue the answer?
Sir, if we forgot everything, so we
Yes.
also have to forget that account.
That is the worst scenario that we have to forget that account, but there is a way. But for that we have to be prepared in advance. That even if
Recovery
nothing
email
is
ID,
yes,
recovery email.
no, that's at all that also that I forgot. Or I assume that email ID I also assume I don't have or I don't give one or that option is not viable to me, let's say, in that case. So actually I'm taking you to the authentication in the deep down. If that thing is there, not working. Oh no, next thing that is not working. Next.
Sir,
Yeah.
inspired by Gajni.
Yes.
So we have to enter the last password which we remember.
But okay, assume that also we forgot. Now
Sir,
you
there
people,
is a way,
yes. I hope
but
that you
it
people
would
don't
be
thinking that sir is taking us in a deep. I'm not. All the options sir are saying no. Yeah, someone is giving answer.
sir. Yes, there is a way, but it would be much harder to execute. We can go through SQL injection.
No, that won't be possible nowadays. That those are quite secure against the SQL injections. That was a old attack, so they people know, so that won't be possible. Yeah, Chirag, you want to add something? Yeah, Chirag.
Sir, we can use a logged in device, right? Like if I have a device that has already, their account is already logged in that device, I can use that device as an authentication key for,
But
right?
yeah, but
Something.
if you haven't logged in other devices, maybe you have signed out. Then
Well, then, sir, we have to assume that we all are not Gajinians.
okay, fine. So why don't I do one thing? I will put you as a kind of a quiz. These questions, if we don't have nothing, okay, that is what our worst case scenario. In that case, if I want to, logging in. I'm again asking.
Can I use a hardware as an authentication key? There is like two-factor authentication that key the key that comes like just looks like a pen drive.
No, no, no. That's assume that you don't have prepared the pen drive. Because for every email ID you cannot prepare it. I think I'm not sure whether in the Gmail they are giving you a pen drive, hardware, or some tokens. That's option is there, but I'm not sure whether it is available in Gmail.
Is just the extra layer of security, not the whole authentication.
Last option is that you have to contact to Gmail via another Gmail ID and explain them our problem. So sometimes it can be helpful.
Yeah, means in the I can say the second last I can say, but there
So
is a
maybe
mistake.
using browser cookies.
No, no. Browser cookies does not store your passwords unless and until if you store your password. But I assume that you don't have stored your passwords in browsers. Cookies won't store your passwords. So fine, let it be a puzzle. There is a way you can log in, and let me give you hint. Even though if you don't have anything, assume you have a username available. That's assume. If you other thing you don't have, still you can log in not a single time, multiple times. That is what a hint. Okay, but how it is multiple, why, how many times, that's all is a puzzle I am putting you two people. So tomorrow or in the next lecture we are going to discuss, I think at the 2 o'clock or at the next week Thursday. That is fine. Okay, so now these are the challenges in a computer security. So you can see certain challenges. First thing is when we are preparing, that's supposed not to be a simple system. Simple, it means the moment it is a very simple from our viewpoint. From attacker viewpoint, it's supposed become the very hard. Otherwise, attacker is going to attack the systems. Of course, second one is always be there. The moment you are designing a system, it's supposed to be a kind of consider a certain attacks. That if something is there, what will happen? Is other thing is there, what will happen? Because your users are sometimes not a techie guys. They are non-technical persons. That can be there. So according to that, how can you try to design your system so that it will be withstands against those kind of attacks? Okay, so in that way, similar other things will be there, that when you are designing, these are challenges. That's what we have to try to see when we are designing a system, and how when we are trying to deploy. Even one case you can see that how we are going to deploy the system so that it will be available to the users and they are going to use it effectively. So when we are designing the things, we have to take care in from the both viewpoint, from the designer viewpoint, from the user's viewpoint, and from the attacker's viewpoint too. That's what we have to do it. Okay. Now OSI, I think all of you know, that's what we have studied in your CN subject. So that is what a kind of their design this ITU. So that's now if you try to remember in our that NIST, Internet Society, ITU, those standards, you can see that now that they have designed. Generally in our browsers also we are using those certificates too when we are going to deploy. So this is what that they have trying to define certain requirements. And in terms of what are the kind of three aspects of security. First thing is what is the attack? There are various attacks. Also we are going to see the things. Now what are the mechanism? It means using this mechanism I can do something. Now sometimes one mechanism cannot be helpful. Sometimes we have to combine the more than one mechanism to stop the attack. So that's all things come under the service. Okay, so all this service will try to helpful to design your entire overall security infrastructure that will be your firewall, your wall, anything you will say against the attacks that is coming to the system. That is the way it will be there. Certain terms will be there. A threat means if some kind of violation of your particular security, and an attack. So if someone will intentionally try to attempt, and you try to whatever the service is that's you have designed using some mechanisms, that service they are trying to stop, they will try to take it. Okay, so that is what under it's like someone has done something, it will create some impact. That is what an attack. That is the way it will be there. So first thing you can see a passive attacks. Now you can see in the example, these are the two users. These are the generalized famous users, Alice, Bob and Alice. Okay, you can see those are the two users. They are communicating. They are the genuine users. Now this is our attacker. That is a dart. So in terms of passive attacks, what will be happen? they are getting the informations, because the moment your information will be out from your network card, from your machines, from your device, it will be available on an open channel. And I think now all you are studied in network, so using the certain tools also you can measure the network packets, traffics. From that you can try to see what the data that they have passing. So in the passive attacks, consider whatever the message that they are getting. Now they are getting message to the Dart, and Dart will try to read the content, whatever the from the message. If your message is a simple text message, they can try to get it. What is the communications that you have done with each others, and try to get answers from that thing. Sometimes in other way, if you can see, if I have some softwares, if I want to try that what are the possible username passwords, I will try all the possible provided the software is installed in my machines. Okay, so it means I will download the software, I will install, I will cut the internet, and I will see all the possible passwords and I will get it. Simple. Now the second way, at the same time, kind of, you can say that first it will try to get the message here from here to, and then try to see the message, and then again try to kind of masquerade or try to be act or try to resend the message to the Alice, that okay, this is what the message is there, that is the way it will be there. So active attack, it means that you have to get the message, you have to change something if you want, if you get it, whatever the way, and then you have to change it to the send it to the second users. So in the active attacks, attacker's task will become more, and compared to the passive attack, active attack you can see is more dangerous because it will affect the users also. In the passive attack, just the attacker want to know that what are the information they are going to use, they are not going to again reutilize. But in the active attacks, whatever the information that they get it, they again pass it to the second users and try to do something, you can say in our words a bad thing, or try to harm, or try to steal, or try to masquerade that I'm actually this thing, and so on. Okay, that is the way it will trying to do it. Okay, now this is what we have done in terms of our security services. So that's what you have understood: security attack, mechanism, and service. So whatever the attacks that what we have seen, these are the security service. So it's like certain mechanism that we have to develop, maybe one or more mechanism, and to counter these attacks, either passive attack, active attacks, other attacks will be come throughout our course. So our task is to design the kind of a service using the certain mechanisms, and that will try to stop those particular attacks. So simple things you can see that in terms of kind of our digital signatures, if some disclosure of signatures, some tampering will try to people do, some destructions will try to do, so on, that everything we have to try to take care so that it will try to stop. That is what our intentions is there. And on the second hand, attacker cannot utilize that power. Okay, that is what the thing is there. So this is what a one particular service XITU, that standard that they have defined, and this is kind of a process in RFC. Now, anyone knows what is RFC? Full form of RFC, radio frequency communications. That is not an answer. What is the full form of RFC? It is a request for comment. So in our kind of security way, you can see that it's your early publication. Okay, I'm getting a voice. Okay. In our world, it is early publications of your work. Okay, it's like in last semester, one students I told that you can put in online archives. So that is what a early publication. Similarly in RFC, the protocols that what you are putting in a world, you can put in a RFC so that the people will try to comment if they find certain loopholes, and then they will try to communicate to you so that you can make it better, and then you can try to deploy in a real world. That is what the way it will be there. Okay, so this is some services by this standard. So one is authentications. So now you people know that both the entity will kind of claim that they are the actual entity that they are trying to call. In terms of access control, whatever the unauthorized people, if the person does not have an authority, does not have a kind of in terms of our, you can say login password, mobile number, OTP, anything that you can use it, somehow you can try to prevent unauthorized people. That's why it will be there. Confidentiality, it means from it is available to only those persons who are authorized. It won't be available to the unauthorized persons in either way. Even if someone try to, pin your, let's say if my data is stored in this particular desktop, someone try to connect with their network and then try to take data from direct hard disk. That single also they cannot get it, even though they get the raw data, but they cannot get the actual data. That is the way it will be the integrity. It means someone cannot be unauthorized person cannot be try to kind of change the things. Okay, in terms of kind of non-repudiation, it means that after something is done, parties cannot deny that, oh, this is not done. It's like when you people are going to, for example, in a shop or somewhere, you are pay the money using certain, let's say, online app, then you can say, okay, this is what a proof. They cannot deny. You cannot deny that you haven't paid. They cannot deny that they haven't get it. So either of the party cannot deny. That is what the repudiations it will be. That is the thing is there. Otherwise, it may happen that the moment you paid, after one person says, hey, you haven't paid, then you can say, okay, no, this is what a proof is there. Of course, availability, it means that anytime when you want, the resources are available. If, for example, if you are using some certain online app for a payment base, now sometimes or many times the app is not available, then what will happen? You will, people become, kind of confused or become bored with that thing. Oh, this app is does not working many times. Whenever I want it, ultimately I don't have to utilize this thing. So it means you are not going to use it and that you are going to throw it out. That is the way it will be there. So make sure available of the resources are, every time to the users so that they will continue with the services. That is the way it will be there. Now, this is what several mechanisms. So it means that whatever our kind of particular attacks, that how can we try to use it? So it depends on what are the cryptographic techniques. So certain, techniques what we are going to use in this course when we start our ciphers, then we are going to see also in your practicals also you have to, coding the ciphers. That's what you have to do it. So these are mechanisms under the same standard. So like, kind of encipherment, it means you have to convert your message in a garbled message. Okay, consider for example, if I know one language, if I don't know another language, for me, if you convert that one language to another language, for me, it is a garbled message because I don't understand those things. So it is, kind of you convert your plain text, the message in some kind of a garble. Then the signatures, then these are the integrity, so and so on. Some protocols, if you are designing for a network in terms of routing, then everything's come under the mechanism. So this mechanism, one or more mechanism, maybe you have to use to stop the attack. So the moment you combine one or more mechanism, it convert in the providing the services, and services will be useful to secure against the attack. That's where all these three are connected. Similarly, certain kind of a passive security. Now, one thing that is there, a security audit trails. Let me try to give you an example for that. If some event is happen, okay, so afterwards there is a audit trail. This somewhat concept also we have done in DBMS. When some certain events is happen, you can take a audit trail that actually why the things is happen. Like if, for example, if certain attack is there, fine, attack is there, you know the impact of attack, but how the attack has taken, how can you know that thing? So for that you have to process those audit trails using the security things that, okay, how the security is breached. So using the trails, you can get to know that how this attacks is done, where in your system there is a loophole so that this attacks will be done. That is the way it will be there. Okay. Now, this is what a generalized model of network security. So here you can see, sorry, let me go. Okay, here you, oh, I think I'm clicking. Okay, this is what a sender, you can see, who is sending a message. I think maybe I have to use the mouse. Some point is not there. Okay, so this is what a sender is there, who are using some transformation. So this is what our ciphers will come in the picture, and this is what a kind of our key. Okay, so that key is there, that's we are providing, and ultimately it will convert from this message to the secure message, or in our words, it is a garbled message. It will pass through and this channel. This channel you can see is available to anyone. Okay, so it means enemy, attacker, opponent, they can also able to see, and those parties, because let's say if I'm going to open the account in bank, they have to verify to me. So that is, you can see, and when I'm going to ATM machines trust on the bank. So that's why they trust on me, because bank have provided the credential to both the way. So these parties will be assigned certain credentials to both the ways. And then these are our open channels. Okay, and the message will again come to the receiver. Again, receiver will apply the cipher algorithms using certain secret informations and then get the message. Okay, so this is what entire model. I have a message using some key. I will convert this message in a secure message through open channel. Now I can send it. Okay, just one question. Why don't we put a secure channel? What is the problem in that? Why we have to put in open internet? I'm confused. Can anyone give me answers?
Sir, can you please repeat?
Yes.
If we create our own channel, then cost will increase instantly.
Very good. The one thing is cost is increased to put our channel. But again, second question is, let's say if I want to send a message from India to my friend in USA, do you think how can I put a secure channel of my own? It will create too much cost. First thing. Second thing is maintenance. Who is going to guard my channel? Do you think that I will put certain guards at every channel viewpoint after certain, let's say at every 10 feet or 20 feet, so that no one is going to put a probing in a channel to get it? No, that's not feasible and viable solutions. It will unnecessary a cost on that. So that's why anyhow you have to send your message through an open channel. That will be a cost effective, already deployed, so and so ready to use environment. So that's why before leaving the message from your system, you have to make it secure, so that once it is leave, you don't have to worry. When it is received, it is again secure, and then you can again kind of decrypt. So the word is encrypt. It means convert your message to the secure message, and secure message to the message, it is a decrypt. That is what a decipherment, that is what a mechanism is there. Okay, so this is certain requirements. First you have to design a kind of a transformation, what algorithm that you are going to use. Then the keys, because you have to apply the keys. For example, if I want to send a message to the India to the USA, then how the keys will be distributed to me and to the USA party, so that they are going to use it. Okay, over the phone, over the internet, how they are going to decide. Okay, and then of course how we are going to distribute the things, so and so on. So when you are designing your models, that's the same model we are going to use in our unit 2, unit 3, and all the different ciphers. Okay, so in general, all the kind of models, those who are sending message through network, they have to follow these particular standards. That is the, it will be there. Now in terms of, yes,
sir, I have a question. That
yes,
you said that the key will be distributed to us and the receiver of the message, right? That the key that will be generated. So how we will secure that key?
No, that you are sending, when we are sending that keys, or once the key is available to me, how we are going to secure?
No, sir. How we are going to see how they are going to secure the key itself? Like we are not generating the key from our side, right?
No, it can be possible. When we are starting the ciphers, we can see the key, how it is going to be decided. So once the key is decided, then either in whatever the way you can communicate with your parties that this is what the actual key is there. Sometimes it is a numbers, sometimes it is a text passwords. That is as a key that you can try to use, or sometimes it is a token, a software token. So somehow you have to send it to the token to the your particular other parties, and then you can start the communications. That is the way it will be there. But once I have my key, it is my problem that how I'm going to secure the key. It's like my passwords of my email account. That is my problem that I have to store. If I will trust on someone in that store, or I have to remember in my mind the kind of secure storage that is given to us in our mind. We have to store that. I hope it will give you answers. But once again, Once we start the cipher, we will discuss that how the key is decided and how it can be available to your users. That is the way it will be there. Okay. Okay, so this is what your kind of network access. So it means somehow if your opponent, now your opponent can be anyone. Don't ever assume that your attacker is only a human. It can be software too, in terms of anything that if you can assume that they are going to try to attack, and then through these access channels they can try to log in. It's like if I have a login module, if everyone tries to do, a human can type the username password, there is one way, or a software is that they have designed that going to continuous do a different with a login, different passwords, and then if they will try to get it access, they can try to do it, provided that attack is going to be works. Okay, so depends on the whatever the opponent, your systems will be going to be utilized, and then we are going to be protect against those things. So this is what the different functions is required, of course. Okay, so I think this is an entire kind of a summary of what we have done. So what is the, now you people get to know that what do you mean by confidentiality, integrity and availability. What are the this 800 architecture in terms of what are the different security attacks defined under this architecture, what are the services, what are the mechanisms that is provided in this particular architecture, and what are the models that what we have studied, like okay, the generalized model, that's what we have studied. So this is kind of give you an overall summary of your particular security, that what do you mean by security. Just saying security won't be a security, but in terms of providing a certain inbuilt kind of a provisions to the system, you can claim that your system is kind of a secure system. Then and then the users will try to utilize those things. Okay, I think let's if someone got an answer to my questions, I have put you as a buzzer. Okay, I think let's go to chat. Someone has put, we will contact okay, does anyone got the answer to my that Gmail puzzle?